Let's talk about more of this. We got Melissa DeRosa on set. We got Mick Mulvaney as well. Melissa, I'll start with you. Corporate taxes are an easy boogeyman, are they not? Right? Millionaires and billionaires and corporate taxes, they sound really good. And maybe we need them. I don't know. 20 billion is still 30 billion, still a lot of money. But my point is, I don't know if it's going to move the needle or move the voter.
Well, and okay, so look, as you said, they're an easy boogeyman, right? We're talking about billionaires, multimillionaires, and this is a play both to the base for Joe Biden, who's doing something to appease progressives, the Bernie bros, but also it's a populist message, right? Biden beat Trump in 2020 by winning back places like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, working class white voters. And so this is essentially virtue signaling. This is not going to happen. It's a nice goal. And it's really about setting up a contrast between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. This is Joe Biden saying, I am for the working class American. I want to make sure Medicare is solvent. I want to make sure Social Security is intact, middle class tax cuts, EITC, child care tax credit, and the other guy wants to pay for corporate millionaires and billionaires to get additional tax revenue. And so that's really what this is about. It's not a practical implication. Joe Biden ran in 2020 saying he was going to roll back Trump's corporate tax cuts, and then he had both houses of Congress and didn't actually do it.
Yeah, you know, Mick, on Twitter, on social media, in proxy interviews, the president's team is working hard, and I'm sure we will hear this tonight, to convince Americans that the economy is good. And by a lot of measures, the economy is good. But if you're a voter that has to be convinced the economy is good, it's too late.
It is. I mean, you still going to expect the president to talk about his successes, talk about where the economy is. He'd be foolish not to. But keep in mind, Brian, there's something really critical here tonight, which is this is one of the rare times that ordinary human beings actually follow politics. You might have as many as 50 million people watch this across various media tonight. And it's Joe Biden's chance to talk to folks outside the Beltway. It's not junkies like you and me or Melissa who follow this. Ordinary people who follow this. So I think more so than whatever the details are of the message on a tax increase or whatever is going to be the image that he portrays. They're never going to remember what he said tonight. They will remember how he made them feel. Will he exude confidence, ability, health? Quick wit and so forth. That matters a lot more tonight than whether or not he proposes to raise the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%. Yeah. Most Americans don't care about that. They care about who they are electing, not necessarily those policies.
To Mick's point, Melissa, and you're a political strategist. Here's a difficult, but this is a question we have to acknowledge. We're all grown-ups watching this show, and I put it out on Twitter X as a poll. Is it more important what the president says or how the president says it? And I think you know what I'm getting at.
It's absolutely more important how the president says it. I mean, everyone tonight...
You could watch it with the sound off.
Exactly. You could watch it on mute and take away something more important than the actual substance that's coming out of his mouth. And, you know, a win for the president tonight will be that no one's talking about this speech in a week, right? The problem...
Why do you say that?
Because the problem will come if there's a gaffe, if he accidentally says the name of one world leader instead of another, if he stumbles on stage.
Well, he's reading.
He's reading, but this is a long speech. We can expect that he's going to be heckled, right? You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene in the of course. But, you know, this is the degradation of politics and government of today. And so I think Biden getting through the speech looking energetic to the extent that he can look young, to the extent that there's color in his face. Yeah. I think that's more important than the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Would you agree with that, Mick? And by the way, let's hope there's no heckling. It's beneath the office, beneath any... we don't want to turn into England.
No, we don't. Well, we don't for a variety of reasons. But the decorum has been on a steady decline for all of our adult lifetimes. I remember when Barack Obama called out the Supreme Court about the Citizen United case with them sitting in front of him at a State of the Union. And as a result, I doubt you'll see the entire Supreme Court there again tonight. They haven't been to a full the full court hasn't been to a State of the Union since. So, yeah, the decorum is going to continue to get bad because those will be, to Melissa's point, one of the stories that survives. If somebody gets a zinger in and a heckle, they're liable to raise $2 million off online in the next 24 hours, which is really depressing. We can talk later about the misalignment of incentives. But generally speaking, it's going to be the image that he portrays tonight that most people care about.